for Movement Lesson, and this is the next video in our series on pitching. We're starting with sports rehabilitation. I'm with Felipe Perez, retired pitcher. And so we are starting with pitching. I'm still working on just initiating the move of the pitch. As you can see here in the picture, I have him set up where he's got ankle tension, thigh tension, as well as tension through his torso. And we just worked in the last video again of the foot coming up. What I want to start working on is, again, you have a decline in the mound, which mathematically is still acceleration. Deceleration is still a positive in math. So when the foot is coming down, let's say, it's going at the same velocity as going up as far as the human body is concerned. Also, you have the issue of the rubber, and I'm sure you know enough professionals, high school, that have just done a stupid twist of the ankle and it just throws their season. Because again, they have just bad footwork. They're so engaged in learning foot up and foot down for a pitch, but you still have to work all of that because you're still protecting a whole field. So in the last video, I had the foot basically coming underneath the pelvis, but what I'm going to start doing here is, first of all, I'm going to start going down. So now I still want him to start learning what going down is in his vestibular. So a very overlooked move is I'm just going to have the foot come off this step. I want his foot to know what it's like to have an unstable surface. Now again, you and I going to an office, no big deal. But if you're high-end sports where your feet are worth $1 million plus, you need to have this kind of dexterity in your feet, lightness. You should be able to feel through the cleats as if I was just placing silk over the feet. And you see how almost like featherly his feet are getting. I don't have to do that much, but as he starts to hit, now he's down, I can start coming down over onto the foot. Now I can already see where in this position he's not giving me as much over the external of his foot, which he should, because what I'm doing here is still just a step down. I'm just starting to show just the elevation changes that you have on the mound, but I still don't even have the circumference or the half circle that you're going over the mound. So if he's having an issue coming down just on a flat surface, imagine if he has to come down and it's going on a decline. The reason, again, that decline is important because most people, if they're putting force through, they're going to do it through their big toe. But in his case, right, if you're having a decline of the mound, you have to put a lot of force on that outer foot. More so than when you're on a flat surface. There he goes. So now me just talking about this is changing his foot function. So now what I'm doing here though is I'm starting to twist through the calf so he can start feeling that foot start to align. Again, I'm working on him coming down to the floor. This is where too you're going to find if any of your players have a really bad back and they're not letting you know because they won't be able to shift enough through the pelvis to bring that foot down. If you can see here on the front version and stuff, his pelvis is just working like scales as he's coming down, but he's still maintaining a nice perpendicular. He's not leaning into this foot. When you start seeing a lean into the opposing foot, I suspect shoulder, upper back injuries. So the difference what I'm doing here versus what I just did in the last video. In the last video I concentrated more of the foot coming up off the surface and then going back down. What I'm doing here is now I'm starting to work on the foot going down to the surface and then I'll work going up. Going up through the knee. I have to go a little bit, the further away we go from our standing leg, I need to work more the leg. But the opposing tension that I have set up with my Astro cage is doing the work that I need to have done. This is not a stability cage. That what I'm doing here, this is gravity interactive therapy. So you want that opposing force, because when I am going to stick my foot through space, I'm pushing it through gravity. You need to have a fine-tuned opposing force, not a stabilizing force. That's not how we work. The more and more we work with the stabilizing force, like a walker, no offense, the system breaks down. We do not work well with inanimate objects within our body's field of movement. So now I'm really feeling his foot coming down. He has a nice transfer of weight. He has not left the floor on his back foot, or his body has not made the decision which is a forward foot or back foot, so he can float in between the two. Again, any kind of issues there, you can work on that now, just working on that from like our first video of the series, of that float back and forth. And now I can start working with just starting to show that foot how to come up off the floor. This and these series of lessons, by the way, can be done at any time, and you can change the tension. You always want to change the complexity, change the tensions, change the way, the direction of the movement. If you're not working with someone that's offering these kind of details into your vestibular system, you need to schedule an appointment. Call myself or Felipe. Now I felt a little glitch in the knee. I'm just going to note it and make sure when I come back that I offer a little bit of movement within the knee. And there, that was beautiful. He just really synchronized from the toes all the way up to come back onto that right leg. Subscribe or like, leave your comments below. We'll be doing this first series of pitching and working on giving you a better game.